You've seen this image before, even if you don't know its name. Two hands reaching toward each other, one human, one divine. A gap so small it almost disappears. Yet that tiny space may be the most important part of the entire painting. For more than 500 years, people have stared at these fingers asking the same question. Why don't they touch? If God is creating Adam, why stop just short of contact? Why leave a gap? This painting is called The Creation of Adam, painted by Michelangelo around 1512 on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And hidden inside those few centimeters may be a message about humanity itself. At first glance, the painting seems simple. God reaches toward Adam. Adam reaches back. Life is about to begin. That is how most people see it. A biblical scene, a famous image, a beautiful moment, and nothing more. But Michelangelo rarely painted anything without purpose. Every gesture mattered. Every expression mattered. Every shape mattered. And the closer you look, the stranger the painting becomes, because the story isn't really about two fingers, it's about the space between them. To understand why this image became so famous, we need to travel back to Renaissance Italy, a world obsessed with discovery, art, science, philosophy, and human potential. At the center of that world stood Michelangelo, a sculptor, a painter, an architect, a poet, and one of the most gifted artists in human history. Ironically, he didn't even want to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling. When Pope Julius II gave him the commission, Michelangelo resisted. He considered himself a sculptor first. Painting was not his passion, yet the Pope insisted, and that decision changed history. The ceiling was enormous, more than 5,000 square feet of empty space waiting to be transformed. Most artists would have been overwhelmed. Michelangelo accepted the challenge anyway. He spent years working high above the ground, standing on scaffolding, stretching his body into painful positions, enduring exhaustion, frustration, and physical pain. Among all the scenes on the ceiling, one would become immortal, the creation of Adam. Not because it was the largest image and not because it contained the most figures, but because it captured something universal. Something every human being understands instinctively, potential and the possibility. The feeling that something extraordinary is about to happen. Look at Adam. He isn't standing proudly. He isn't reaching desperately toward God. Instead, he reclines comfortably across the earth, his body relaxed, his arm extended almost lazily toward his creator. Shouldn't the first human be filled with excitement? Shouldn't there be urgency? Michelangelo thought differently, and that decision transformed the entire painting. Now look at God. Everything changes. Where Adam appears passive, God appears powerful. Where Adam seems relaxed, God seems determined. His body surges forward through the sky. His robes billow around him. His finger stretches outward with purpose. One figure waits, the other acts. One receives, the other gives. One is incomplete, and the other is complete. The contrast is impossible to ignore, and that contrast creates tension. A tension that exists inside a gap only a few centimeters wide. That tiny gap has fascinated viewers for centuries, because it feels important and it feels intentional. It feels like the entire painting revolves around it. Some scholars believe the gap represents humanity's separation from God. Others believe it represents free will. And some believe Michelangelo was capturing the exact moment before consciousness begins, the precise instant before awareness enters the human mind. The moment before thought, the moment before imagination, the moment before every human story ever told. Imagine freezing time 1 second before a lightning strike. Imagine stopping the universe 1 second before a star ignites. That is what this painting feels like: potential, possibility, and expectation. Everything is about to happen, yet nothing has happened yet. And perhaps that is why people continue returning to this image. Not because it shows creation, because it shows anticipation, because it captures the moment before transformation. Because it reminds us that every extraordinary achievement begins as unrealized potential. But there is another mystery hidden inside the painting, a mystery that remained unnoticed for centuries. Look carefully at the red cloak surrounding God. Look at the figures gathered around him. Look at the outline created by the fabric. At first it appears random, then something strange happens. The shape begins to look familiar, very familiar. Doctors studying the painting noticed it first. The outline resembled a human brain. Not vaguely and not symbolically, but remarkably accurately. The curves matched, the folds matched, the proportions matched, and suddenly a radical theory emerged. What if Michelangelo intentionally hid a human brain inside one of the most famous religious paintings ever created?